Hi everybody. For the longest time, the Modi government has flaunted the success of UPI and the Digital India initiative.
आज दुनिया के 40% 40% रियल टाइम डिजिटल पेमेंट्स अकेले भारत में होते हैं।
दुनिया में भारत के डिजिटल इंडिया को एक बहुत बड़ी मान्यता मिली है।
India has one of the fastest growth rates of digital payments of any nation in the world.
131 billion transactions by volume.
UPI आप देखिए पूरी दुनिया के लिए अजूबा है जी।
But there is one big problem. Today, QR codes are everywhere, chaiwalas accept digital payments, and as of 2025, more than 500 million people in India have a bank account, with UPI transactions alone crossing 23 trillion rupees. But it pains me to say that after the phenomenal success of UPI, there are still gaps, failures, and glorified announcements that the media forgot to follow up on. And two of these glorified initiatives are the ONDC and the OCEN initiative.
Open Credit Enablement Network, which is a digital infrastructure being created by the government to democratize the small ticket credit market in India.
Open Network for Digital Commerce, or the ONDC.
ONDC is aimed at helping small retailers go online to reduce the dominance of the likes of Amazon and Flipkart.
These two initiatives have failed so badly that ONDC's app is worse than a college student's first year project. And OCEN has been ignored by the biggest banking players of the country. And the reason why we're making this video is because 2 years ago, we ourselves made a video on how revolutionary these initiatives were. And one wise comment said that I wish all the initiatives mentioned in this channel actually get executed, but sadly they're just announcements with no action. And this really hit me. So we decided that we will not just make a video when there is a sensational announcement, but we will also follow up on the action so that we can help you differentiate between marketing and action. So in this episode today, let's try to understand what are the biggest gaps in UPI, why are ONDC and OCEN not the phenomenal success that UPI was, and what are the lessons that we need to learn from this slowdown of ONDC and OCEN. Before we move on, let me thank Outskill for supporting our content. If you can dedicate just one weekend to investing in yourself, and if you want to make your career colorful, then I would highly recommend joining this 2-day weekend AI training program. It's valued at 10,000 rupees, but you can get it for completely free, all thanks to Outskill. Outskill is the world's first AI-focused education platform, which is backed by renowned AI investors and AI founders. This 2-day program offers 16 hours of live AI training, and it's happening coming weekend on the Saturday and Sunday, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. In this program, you will gain in-depth knowledge on a wide range of topics, including 20 plus AI tools to build AI toolkit, prompt engineering to achieve incredible results, data analysis without coding, using AI in Excel and creating professional presentations effortlessly, building tools with AI without writing code, creating stunning images and videos using AI tools, developing AI agents, automating your work to save time and boost productivity, and many more things. Professionals from tech and non-tech sectors like sales, marketing, HR operations, and even business owners and freelancers had attended this workshop, and they absolutely loved it. In fact, more than 1 lakh people from 40 different countries have already participated. The slots for this workshop is filling up very quickly, so click the link in the description to book your slot and make sure to join their WhatsApp groups to receive all updates. Also guys, the introduction call for the session happens on Friday at 7 p.m, so please don't miss it. And now on with the episode. Alright, before we talk about ONDC and OCEN flopping, let's understand the foundation that they were built on. Something called the India Stack.
India Stack is a moniker for formidable digital infrastructure which includes identity, payments and data management. Governments, startups and developers used this infra to accelerate India's shift to not only a digital economy but also an inclusive one.
India Stack actually consists of many applications. You have Aadhaar, you have UPI, DigiLocker, Wint, number of them. It has been extremely successful in India.
India Stack is like a 4-layer mega tech sandwich. Each layer was designed to completely transform how Indians interact with the digital world. Layer 1 is the presence-less layer. This is where the famous Aadhaar system comes in. So your fingerprint, iris scan, Aadhaar number, all of it helps you verify your identity without you even being present. Then comes layer 2, which is the paperless layer. Here, with the help of the DigiLocker system, instead of carrying your PAN card, driver's license or certificates, India Stack said, what if all your documents could live in the cloud? This is how the digital locker was born. So now you can send your documents anywhere, anytime without printing a single page. And then came layer 3, the cashless layer. Now this is where UPI changed the game forever. Whether it's a 5 rupee cutting chai or a 50,000 rupee iPhone, UPI made your money move at the speed of light. And then came layer 4, which is the consent layer. This is by far the most underrated layer of all. And here we have something called account aggregator system. This layer helps you share your bank history, insurance, credit score and all other information with the lenders or service providers with no photocopies and no middlemen. And when all these 4 layers of India Stack, which are identity, documents, payments and consent come together, they were supposed to create a digital superpower. But here's something that nobody tells you. Even UPI has gaps, and they are massive gaps. And guess what? Those gaps are nothing but multi-million-dollar startup opportunities. For example, meet Arjun. Arjun is a guy who runs a restaurant chain in Mumbai. His staff used to pay vendors with cash, file receipts, and then pray for the reimbursements. So it was complete chaos. But then came a company called Cashbook, which is a UPI-based business wallet. So now, Arjun's team uses UPI wallets with 10,000 rupees monthly limits, which is directly controlled by Arjun's company dashboard. So every payment is logged, categorized and approved in real time. This way, Arjun slashed his reconciliation time from 22 hours to just 2 hours and saved 1.2 lakhs per year in just leakage expenses. So the moral of the story over here is that you don't need to reinvent UPI, you just need to fix the gaps and there are some beautiful business opportunities waiting for you. Similarly, there is a huge need for UPI for salaries and contract payments because businesses even today struggle with payroll processing and freelancer payments. And current options like bank transfers take a lot of time and they need approvals, cash payments are absolutely messy and untraceable, and payment gateways charge very high fees for processing. This is the first gap. And the second gap that we could obviously identify was the gap for high value B2B transactions with UPI. But you see guys, these are just gaps in UPI which can still be addressed, and at least UPI worked. But the next part of India Stack, it's not just broken, it's a full-blown disaster. So let's start with ONDC.
Let me introduce you to ONDC, the Open Network for Digital Commerce. It's a government-backed online retail network. You can find all kinds of sellers on it. Restaurants, grocery stores, gadget hubs, even fashion.
ONDC is a network of networks. It's a platform of platforms. So today, let's say, Flipkart can also be part of ONDC. Somebody who's new, who doesn't have a platform but wants to have an innovative test and innovative idea, they can also be a part of this.
You see, ONDC is not an app or platform like Amazon or Flipkart. ONDC is a protocol. So just like UPI is for payments, ONDC is a digital infrastructure that allows different buyer apps, seller apps, and logistics providers to interact on a common network. This means any seller on the network can sell to any buyer through any participating app, which eventually creates an open and interoperable e-commerce system. Now imagine this in the digital world. Sellers are on different apps like Paytm, Magic Pin and Meesho. Buyers are using different apps like somebody might order from PhonePe, someone might order from Paytm. And logistics partners like Dunzo, Loadshare, all of them exist as independent entities in the same network. So now ONDC makes sure that a buyer on PhonePe can buy a shirt from a seller listed on Magic Pin, and then this shirt can then be delivered by Dunzo all in one smooth order. So no one needs to be on the same app, they just need to be on the same network. Now if you look at its success, it's not bad at all. ONDC has actually made significant strides since its inception. By March 2025, it has facilitated over 200 million transactions, onboarded over 5 lakh sellers, with 70% of them being MSMEs. So it's a great thing. And the platform is also gaining traction in multiple sectors like food delivery, grocery, and even mobility. So yes, ONDC is still growing. But in spite of its impressive growth, ONDC faces some serious challenges which need urgent attention. Firstly, the user experience is one of the most talked about complaints. For those who don't know, just like Bheem UPI is the app for UPI, even ONDC has its own app. But if you look at the app experience is a nightmare. You select groceries and you get shown marketplaces of kurtis. You search for foreign whey protein brands and you get moringa powder from Indian sellers. And the UX is so bad that it feels like using a college student's first year project. And the delivery is so bad that forget Prime, it takes 5 to 7 days for the products to be delivered. This is because unlike Amazon, they do not have a seamlessly integrated logistics network. So there is no centralized fulfillment and no consistency. And while Amazon and Flipkart throw billions on marketing and discounts, ONDC has no such firepower. They have no flash sales and they have no flash discounts. So users tend to stick around with Amazon and Flipkart more than they stick around with the ONDC apps. And then comes the last part, which is awareness. You see, ONDC's success relies on getting trust and awareness to match its growth. Currently, many users still don't know about the platform at all. And even when they do, they're often turned off by the experience as seen in numerous social media complaints. So the question is, how can a platform built to take on Amazon and Flipkart survive if customers aren't coming back? Now, don't get me wrong over here, guys. ONDC has the potential to disrupt the e-commerce space. But the government needs to address 3 key issues: logistics, marketing, and financial viability. They need to introduce more fees, but also balance the fees in such a way that they themselves don't become the problem that they want to solve. These are the challenges that the government needs to solve when it comes to ONDC. If this is very, very clear to you, let's look at OCEN, or Open Credit Enablement Network. And guys, I must admit that I was very happy for this initiative and I thought that this is going to change the landscape of Indian MSMEs forever. But the only thing that has changed is my opinion on government execution. So let's understand this better. OCEN is a government-led initiative aimed at democratizing the access to credit in India, particularly for small businesses and the individuals who have been excluded from traditional banking systems. So if a small business in Bihar applies for a loan of 10,000 rupees, using Aadhaar, the business owner's identity is verified. Then the business shares its GST records and transaction history via the account aggregator, which allows the lenders to then access the business's credit worthiness. Then a lender like HDFC quickly approves the loan using real-time data and the business receives its funds instantly via UPI. And then the business will use DigiLocker to store and access important documents digitally, reducing paperwork and ensuring security. So this paperless, cashless and digital-driven ecosystem was expected to cut transaction costs, reduce fraud and provide instant access to financial services. So the question is, where did we all go wrong? Because this seems like a very straightforward procedure, right? Well, the biggest challenge for OCEN has been the reluctance of major banks to fully participate. While initial reports in 2022 and 23 suggested that lenders like ICICI Bank, Kotak Mahindra, Aditya Birla Finance have signed up, their level of engagement still remains low. In fact, the total loan disbursal through OCEN as of 2024 was just 23 crore rupees. And that too to just 14,000 sellers. Now compare this with UPI's transaction volume, which hit 200 lakh crores in 2024. You will know how OCEN's impact was negligible in contrast to the other digital public goods. In fact, from what we read, by 2024, only 5 lenders were actively disbursing loans through OCEN, which indicates a failure to reach mainstream adoption. Now, why is this happening? Well, from the brief data that was available on the internet, what we found is that, number one, the banks fear losing direct control over customer relationship. Number two, unlike UPI, which banks were forced to adopt, OCEN is a protocol and thus banks can choose to adopt or ignore it. So, banks could ignore it without any consequence. In fact, if you look at account aggregators, which was supposed to be the 4th layer of India's stack that could let users share bank and insurance data, as of 2024, from the data that we could find on the internet, only 8% of bank accounts are linked. In fact, PhonePe stopped being an account aggregator recently, citing competing priorities. Now, I don't understand what this means, so if you do, please let me know in the comments. And you know what's even more disappointing, guys? The latest status of OCEN is not available on the open source. So if at all it is successful, I would request a government official to please email the report to write@thinkschool@gmail.com and we will make a video on it. And the last reason why OCEN is a failure is because of the regulatory and operational failures in early pilots. In this pilot, lenders struggled with repayment collection, leading to a higher than expected defaults. In fact, the government's marketplace called GEM Sahay 1.0, it was quietly discontinued in late 2024 with a new version of OCEN 4.0 under development. So while OCEN has not been officially discontinued, its primary pilot program was shut down due to performance issues. And again, there is no clear update on whether its replacement is more successful or it is less successful. And according to us, a major red flag is that there have been virtually no official updates on OCEN's progress since early 2024. Unlike UPI, which has monthly transaction reports and the progress that features on Instagram page itself, OCEN's adoption figures have not been published frequently enough, which has then led to speculation that maybe the rollout has been stalled. This is what we could find about the gaps in UPI, the startups to be built, and the gaps in ONDC and OCEN. So if any government official is watching this episode, please help us gain clarity on this so that we can educate the people about the pitfalls and opportunities. And we do want to celebrate the success of the government, but if we don't find any, we can't do it. So please let me know in the comments, or you can email it to write2thinkschool@gmail.com. But this is what brings us to the last part of the episode, and that are the lessons that we need to learn from this story. Lesson number 1. Vision without execution is just PR. We all see grand government tech initiatives often being launched with big speeches and bigger promises, but we also need to remember that unless there are follow-ups, incentives, and user feedback loops which keep on improving the product, these ideas will remain as PowerPoint dreams and not public goods. Lesson number 2. Without skin in the game, private players will walk away. And the government needs to understand this as soon as possible. You see, OCEN and account aggregators failed to attract banks because there was no incentive or regulation forcing the participation of these giant players. And if private players do not see any value, they will stick to what already works. So whenever you build a system or a platform, always ask yourself one question. What is the incentive for any person or any entity to sign up on your platform? And only when you get the answer, you should begin developing the platform or the system. Lesson number 3. India stack needs startups and not just state support. You see, UPI exploded because startups like PhonePe, Google Pay and Paytm built amazing layers on top of the public rails. But ONDC and OCEN tried to scale without startup-led innovation, and we believe that is why they are not picking up. And lastly, if a government official is watching this, please understand that to us, the common people of India, transparency builds trust and silence often signals failure. While real-time data of UPI is published everywhere, OCEN and account aggregators data is not published that often. And in fact, when we searched for it, we almost found nothing. So if the public doesn't know what's working and what's not, they would assume that it's not working. So please update us and keep us posted on both your progress and failures. And we understand that some initiatives may not work, but not informing the public at all doesn't seem like the best thing to do, especially after you've created this massive hype about something really revolutionary which got the public very excited. So please update us and let us know, and we would be more than happy to celebrate your success, because we believe that your success is our success. That's all from my side for today, guys. If you learned something valuable, please make sure to hit the like button in order to make YouTube Baba happy. And for more such insightful business and political case studies, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.